What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna do a market recap video. I'm pretty much just gonna go over what I was looking for last week, what has happened, what trades I took, and what I'm looking for next. Okay, so without further ado, let's begin. I'm gonna share screen. Okay, so a lot has happened in the last couple of days. The last time we spoke, I was looking for a sell, okay? And I was looking for price to like a higher time frame sell. I was looking for price to come into this area right here. So I had the divergence, I had the wick exhaustion, I had everything I needed except for the break and the retest. So that's like the most important step. You need the break and you need the pullback for you to execute the trade. The break is the confirmation of the direction. The pullback is the entry, and then you'll take that to the TP. Now, at the time of me analyzing price was like somewhere right here. Yeah. So at the time we were like right in this area. I'm gonna just over it like that. We were like right there, okay? I was saying like all of this is a higher low, like all of this is a higher low point, higher low point. We had divergence forming, right? And I was like, don't sell here because this is divergence. And I'm really big on entries. Like where you get in is very, very important because it'll make or break the trade. So I needed more structure to form because where it was sitting at, it was divergence, right? I was looking for price to break a higher low point inside of here. Let's zoom in. We had the divergence. Okay, divergence is when the charts or price action is going in the opposite direction from the RSI. The RSI is the relative strength index. The RSI was giving us higher highs and higher lows, but the charts were giving us lower lows and lower highs. So that was a confirmation that we were about to shift direction, right? So price broke out of here, retested, and pushed up back into this area right here. So I'm going to put a zone. Okay, so price came back into that area, right? Now you can put a fib on this overall structure to know where to get out of the trade, right? This is the trade that you're following. Now there were two entry opportunities for this setup. Remember I told you guys to look and see if price breaks and retests over here. So we did get the break and retest on the left side, but I seen this push back up into this area, this minor higher low point wicking off of this area. So I got in off the break and the retest from this setup. So inside of here, right, the pullback that we talked about, the pullback that was forming was also giving us divergence. So this is again divergence. I'm gonna thicken this a little bit. That's divergence, okay? And we're gonna zoom into the 15-minute now. This was a divergence and price was bouncing off of the trend line. Once I saw the break and the retest, I hopped in for the sell and I took the sell to the TP. We had divergence again. So the divergence was here, okay? Followed by another break and retest. I took that down to the next level, okay? So this is what I'm saying about like your zones and what's around you. Yes, I'm looking for a price to break out of this area to retest it for me to take a sell down to this trend line, but I'm not going to hold my sells down to that trend line because I don't know if it's gonna go there or not. Like if you hold it that low and assume there's a high possibility that you will hit a stop loss and you could blow your account. So that was the setup for that. I'm gonna go to the 15-minute time frame and just kind of read through these notes. I mean, I kind of pretty much said everything, but here my original analysis, let's make this bigger. I don't know why I thought I could see that. All right, my original analysis was a deeper sell into this trend line. So I was talking about this trend line down here that I mentioned. We did get a sell, but only back down to the higher low, the higher time frames, higher low point. So the higher time frames, higher low point is this right here that I'm talking about. Okay, let's zoom back in. Um, Before the sell played out, price pushed up to this area, testing this area as resistance. So that was this coming back into this area as resistance. So remember, we were sitting here on the call when I was talking about the setup that I was looking for. Testing the area as resistance, divergence formed, and then a break and retest. And I took the sell down to the TP of the structure that I was in. So that's pretty much what I just showed you guys. I'm going to take this off of here now. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did. This was a structure. I had a fib on here and I got out at the 27. Okay, super clean. Ooh, well, hello there, sir. Okay. Then we have the divergence again, followed by the break and the retest, and then I took that down to the TP of that structure. So if I put a fib on this, this was a TP also that hit, okay? took that down to that area, got out the trade. I waited for more data to form because I knew Powell was about to speak. When Powell was talking, he was talking about the rate cuts. So they did drop the rates again. I did make a video about this on YouTube, like a reel, but just to kind of reiterate that video, low interest rate is bad for the US dollar. Whenever this fear in the market, people are going to put their money into a safe haven like gold. When people put their money into a safe haven, it's going to increase the demand of that asset, which is going to increase the price of that asset. So when you understand that from a fundamentals perspective, you are going to buy gold. Now, where do you get in? That is the most important question because when they're announcing rate cuts, the market is going crazy. Everything is just moving at a fast pace. You have to just wait and see what structure is going to do. And it could take some time. It could take a couple hours, maybe a whole day. Like you just have to wait and see like what is going to happen. You don't want to just hop into it because he said, okay, we're cutting the rates. Like, no, wait for the structure to form because there's going to be a structure that's going to form, but you have to pay attention to your higher highs and your higher lows. And you have to pay attention to what's breaking those higher highs and higher lows. And also your lower lows and lower highs. Like what's breaking that. Okay. So I'm gonna take this off of here. We're gonna hide things as we go just so that it's not so much on the charts. And I'm gonna grab some water in a second. Hold on. I'm gonna draw a zone on here and I want you guys to follow me. So this is my thought process as I was like looking for an entry. So I had this area like this, okay? So when price started to bounce off of the area, I dragged over my zone this way. Okay. So this is me, watching the market, paying attention to the market. And I understand that he cut the rates and I know that gold is about to push up. So where do I get in? I need to get in at a high low point. Where's my high low point? So when I was looking at price, right, I saw that we broke this. All of these are lower highs. This pushing through it was price breaking. Okay, so that's a confirmation of a buy. However, when price pushed up here and it wick up for this area, it broke a higher low point. Okay, so this right here where the arrow is, that's a higher low point. Then I saw this wick right here. So now I'm like, okay, where are we going? Are we gonna drop back into this area and then push up? Or am I gonna push up at this level? So I didn't know what was gonna happen and I needed another push. I needed a push either above or below to confirm where I was going before I entered. Okay. Now, in the previous call, I had a trend line coming from the top. Remember that trend line? I was like, I could put this trend line here, it makes sense. And then I had pushed it back down. I believe Tuesday, I put the trend line back to where it's at now. So this is the trend line I'm talking about. This guy right here, I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker. This is the trend line that I'm talking about. So the trend line, I had it a little bit lower than where it's at now. Okay. When I saw price break and retest that trend line, I hopped in for a buy. So we're gonna go back to the 15-minute time frame and we're gonna look at this together. Do you see that break and that retest? Okay, now it's very, very quick. Okay, very quick, very like pop, pop, right? And the reason why I knew it was going to continue to push was because they cut the rates. So again, when they cut the rates, you want to buy gold. When they increase the rates, you want to sell gold. The reason behind it is because the supply and the demand is happening. The fear in the market's happening. When people are afraid of losing money or they want to put their money into a more safer asset, they'll put it in gold, and that it will increase the demand of it, which will increase the price of it. All right. So I'm going to switch over to my charts to kind of just show you guys everything. Took this to the TP. So that was the zone that I took the trade to. And then I had a fib on this overall structure. So I had a fib on here that lined up with that 27, which is where I got out at. So I just want to see. Yeah. Now you could put a fib on this structure, which is also fine, or you can put a fib on this structure. which is also fine. So just to go back to the structure now, that was that setup, right? Now you can adjust the fib that we have, that higher time frame fib, and line it up perfectly with the pullback level, and it'll line up perfectly with that 27 that where price pushed up to. So price pushed up a little bit higher. Okay, so remember we were over here, and then it pushed up to this 27. Now, when I'm in a structure like this, do you see this pullback? Do you see that? I don't really like, I need like a clean, crisp setup. Okay. And that wasn't enough for me to hop back in and say, oh, my buy. Like, no, because I don't know if it's going to drop deeper and then push up, right? When you trade in, you want to be smart. You don't want to be greedy. You want to be smart. So, when the market opened, I was looking for a sell in this area. So I was looking for price to come into this area and drop into a sell. However, when price came to this level, there was no wick exhaustion. There was no breaks and retest. There was nothing for me to say, okay, yeah, we're gonna fall. And the 4 hour candle was very bullish. Okay, so let me just go to the 4 hour and I'm gonna just show you guys. It's right here. Okay, this is where we at now. We're on the 4 hour time frame, so it looks a little different. I'm gonna go back down to the 15-minute time frame to zoom in on this area. When I saw the candle close with more bullish momentum, I was like, oh no, this is not ready. And even if you go to like the 1 hour, like there was it's over here. There was nothing there to say like, oh, we're selling. Okay, so this gray box that we have highlighted, it's the same thing. Now we're on a 1 hour, so now it's a lot more candles showing. And then when we go to the 15-minute time frame, it's going to be a lot more candle showing. All right. So, no, that's not it. Yeah, here it is. All right. So I'm going to take this gray box off, and then I'm going to hide this fib in the background. And now we're going to look at this together. So I took another cell, but I took it at a higher level, which was up here. Okay. So I seen this divergence. I seen the break and the retest. Do you see the difference between this setup and this setup? Right? This, we got the break and a retest. Here, we got Nathan. So it's important to monitor the structure. Like when prices come into the area that you're looking to execute the trade, don't just press the button when it gets there, please. Like look at it, wait for the candles to close, wait for confirmation. Like just wait and see what the candles are doing. Allow it to form more data or more structure before you're pressing any buttons. Because yes, this is a perfect spot for me to enter to sell. But if I was to hop in right here to sell, I would have been in, you can't see it, 251 pips of drawdown. Yeah. Okay. So that was clear. Moving on to the next setup. I seen price wick off of here. I didn't have this trend line here at first. When I seen price like wick in this area, I looked to the left and I was like, okay, where can I connect the trend line? Then I saw that area that I was at previously. So I had a trend line coming from that area right here down to this area. Okay. So price continued to wick off of the area, wicking, wicking, wicking. I was like, oh, this is nice. I was like, I'm gonna wait for one more wick and then I'm gonna hop into a sell. Waited for the next wick and got right into that sell. Okay. Price shot down. This is another thing when I talk about zones. I'm like, you don't know if this is gonna fully drop until you have the confirmation that it's gonna fully drop, right? Like I don't know if it's gonna do this until I have more data to verify that or to confirm that. So this is another one of those taking it to the next zone. So there wasn't really a fib on this drop. It was just more so looking at the structure and seeing what's around me. Okay. All right, cool. Um, the next thing that we had, so this was a break and retest to push up. I didn't take that. I didn't even see that happen. This was at like 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I didn't take anything else after those two cells. I did post this on Instagram too. I posted this one on Instagram on Sunday night, and then I posted this one recently. So at first I was looking for price to push up into a buy. So I had a fib, something like this. I was like, wait for a break and a retest to buy to the 27 and then the 61.8. When more data formed, I was getting a lot more wicks at the top than momentum. So I went on Instagram. I said, we're getting wicks at the top. Let me see what I said, child, because I'm tired. Right here. Oh wait, it was on my story, I think. All right, so it says quick update. We have wicks from the top along with bearish momentum. If we get a break below this higher low point, look for a pullback. Y'all know what I meant though. Look for a pullback and take a sell. Then I said a break and a retest above here, you would look to buy. So I didn't take this, but I want to show you guys this. I really want you guys to get used to structure and get used to understanding when you're trading, when you're waiting, when you're getting in, so on and so forth. Okay. Um, so I was saying if you break below this higher low, then look for a pullback and get in for a sell instead of a buy. So we got the break and a retest, and then price dropped right back down. Okay. And it was perfect. Like if I was to trade this, I definitely would get out at the next zone, which would have been like somewhere right here. But this was perfect. So price came back to this trend line that we have. So I'm gonna zoom out now. We have a trend line coming from the bottom. So all of this is higher lows forming. Price came back down to that trend line and then pushed up into a buy to hit that original TP that I was looking for. So the TP was for this. Okay. It was like something like that. But you ended up getting that. It was just price pull back some. So it gave you a structure, like a pullback structure, which is beautiful. And then it took you to that 27, 61, and 27. All right. So what am I looking for now? I want to see. So this right here is a wick. It's not really a full-blown like structure to me. So technically we didn't break above this area yet. So what I want to see is I want to see price break above this area. Okay. I want to see a break and a retest to buy, right? And if I don't get the break and retest to buy, I'll look for a break and retest below to sell. So I'm telling you guys the same thing over and over again. And I really hope that it's helping somebody. It's really just about waiting for the entry opportunity, is waiting for the structure to form, and it's waiting for the candles to close to confirm what's happening. Wait for the structure to form. Look for your higher highs, look for your higher lows. Wait for price to break the higher low, right? Break up structure, or wait for price to change direction, the chalk pattern. So it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. And it's also about, understanding where you are in the setup and where is price heading next on a higher time frame. We had some beautiful trades this week. I really hope that a lot of people were able to take advantage of the fluctuation of price this week because it was amazing. And then the rate cuts, like that was amazing too. But yeah, just to piggyback off of what I'm looking for next, break and retest above here, you're looking to buy, put a fib on that structure, trade that structure. So from here, it's like that's like 266 pips. You can do that as a mini, you can do that as a standard, you can even do that as a micro. It's really up to you and your account size. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this video was super helpful. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm gonna go ahead and eat something because I'm starving, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. Mwah.